I'm Barry Funkhauser, and this is the Barry Funkhauser Show. Well, it's the end of the week, so we've decided to collaborate the news of the week that we didn't get to, and Chase Shumway is joining us to break down the news of the week that we missed. Welcome to the show, Twitch streamer and tech expert Chase Shumway.
Oh, wow. Hey, thanks for having me. Can I put that on my resume?
What, tech expert and Twitch streamer? Yeah, you can do that. We'll allow it.
And with me is Joe. I forgot what we call you. Know-it-all expert.
Know-it-all current events guy.
Yes. Hey, it's a loose Friday. I ripped out the script.
Man, it has been a week.
Mm-hmm. How you been over there, Chasey? What's been happening in Sin City?
It's been cold and windy. That's about it.
No earthquakes, though, right? We had earthquakes this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What was it, Barry? You got woken up, Wednesday morning early?
Yeah, at 2 a.m. we had a shaker, a 4.2 coming out of Malibu, right in the middle of the ocean there. And it,
you know what? I guess we had one in Sherman Oaks, too.
Is that right? Oh,
yeah.
Boy.
But here's the thing. You know what? It was only a 4.2. I don't even sleep well, but an earthquake under a 5 just never wakes me up anymore.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's all you got to say? Yeah?
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking about last time or a couple nights ago when the earthquake happened, and I was on the second floor of a place in the middle of the valley going, whoa, doozy. It's a doozy.
My first thought would always be, when was this building constructed? Is it up to code? I was just going to ask that.
Has Eve's building been earthquake proofed yet?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to know. I just want to know where the exit is, how quick I can get to it.
Yeah, my building was built like late 90s, so I think we're already set. It was built after Northridge, so I think we're all set here. Maybe that's why I don't feel the shaking, because we're already, earthquake resistant in my building. But again, like I don't wake up anymore. Like and those late night or early morning earthquakes when you're asleep already are absolutely the worst, especially like if it's a big one that shakes. And like, you probably felt it pretty good where you were, Barry. And so it's like you just shoot right out of bed and like, what the heck is going on? You're like, run for cover.
Then your adrenaline is going and can't go back to sleep.
Exactly.
Funny enough, I didn't even really get up. I was just like enjoying the ride.
Throw a pillow over your head just in case something falls off the ceiling.
It's like one of those old vibrating beds in a motel, the coin operated ones.
Oh, those things were fun, man. When I was a kid, we always used to we would stay at the cheap motels and stuff. We had the motorhome, but every few nights my parents would pull into, just some like roadside motel. They needed a break for a night from us kids. So we would stay in the RV. I was old enough to like take care of the younger siblings. And they would just my granddad and my mom and dad would each have a hotel room. Oh man, when we went, and I think we were driving through like New Mexico once, and this is like the 80s. So those coin operated vibrating beds were still around, and man, we loved them as kids. Whenever we got to a motel, and it didn't happen often, once out of every like 5 times or so, we would run into the motel room to see if they had a vibrating bed, and if they did, we would just be like, Mom, oh Dad, oh give me some quarters, oh we want to ride the bed, and we had no idea what the vibrating bed was actually for.
I never saw one in my whole life. I thought they were an old wives' tale.
I've only ever seen them in movies. I've never seen one in person.
Man, yeah, you just dated yourself, Joe.
Yeah, well, hey, I am old and I am proud of it. So I am fine with it, But they weren't just in the movies. They were a novelty, though. They were definitely a novelty.
All right, well, let's start off the news today with that story, Joe, about the Xbox. Now, I didn't really capture it fully, but I heard a bunch of people on TV yelling about it. Can you fill us in on what's happening with the Xbox, since we do have the tech expert on the horn today?
All right. Okay. So I save all of you from the destructive evil going on in my head about this story. I'll just keep it brief. Xbox recently changed their power saving mode so it would shut down faster and therefore save more energy. And so Fox News, of course, it has to be Fox News, decided that because Xbox was helping people save energy, that they were woke and turning all of their gamers into climate change advocates and brainwashing gamers into becoming, I don't know, better citizens, I guess, something like that. Why Fox News isn't jumping on the fact that this is actually, Xbox is helping people save money as well with the power saving mode. It might be a few cents here and there, but at the end of the month, it's going to save them a few bucks. But of course, Fox News had to jump on the quote unquote woke bandwagon and jump all over this. I think it's dumb. It's just as dumb as the Eminem woke controversy. They just want to try to pull anything they can to keep our attention away from what actually needs to get done in this country. Chase, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's they're already trying to take my gas stove away from me. Now they're trying to save me electricity too. How dare they?
How dare they?
Yeah, it is a weird scenario. That's something weird to be upset about for sure, is power saving mode.
And this is what I keep coming back to. Like, they keep calling liberals snowflakes, but they get pissed off about the stupidest stuff, the dumbest stuff. This doesn't matter. The Eminem thing doesn't matter either. None of these woke controversies actually mean anything. They just want to be pissed off about stuff.
Wait a minute, you just talk about distraction, Joe? Or is this a distraction?
I know, right? It's crazy that you would think that this is a distraction. They want people to be all up in arms about the culture war because they have no policies. They don't want to actually govern. Governing takes actual hard work and compromise. No, all these people want to do is fire up the Trumper base to make money. They want to keep people terrified of woke liberalism so they can just keep making money. That's it.
What's funny, Joe, is
I can
hear air quotes out when I can hear air quotes when you say them. That's funny. I just noticed.
That's great.
You can actually hear.
You can hear.
You can put that on your resume.
that I can verbally
emphasize air quotes verbally.
Emphasize air quotes. Yeah. That's interesting. I don't know. This is just my thing. There are a lot of other things that we should probably be worried about as a country, but I don't know. It's hard for me to say, like, because it's not all Republicans. There are still some, actual Republicans out there. And when I say Republicans, I mean, like, people who are fiscally conservative and socially conservative. All these Trumpers are different because they don't care about any of this stuff. They just want culture wars. That's it. That's, my personal feeling. I don't know. Maybe other people feel the same way. But I just feel like this is just dumb. They just want to keep hammering us on the culture wars to distract us from other stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. Well, thanks for telling me about that, Joe. Okay, more news.
I mean, I guess you don't hear you don't hear stuff like, I don't know. Anyway, whatever. We're going to keep getting like these woke controversies for years. It's going to be stupid.
Are you going to put your Xbox in power saving mode or are you not?
My Xbox has been in permanent power saving mode since I sold it like 5 years ago. What do you, Chase? Are you when you stream, are you doing PC or are you doing console stuff?
No, it's all PC.
It's all PC. Because do you find that more powerful? Like, why do you as a Twitch streamer prefer PC over either an Xbox or PlayStation?
Yeah, it's mainly like the flexibility, because the hardware, you can get much better hardware in a PC. With an Xbox, you're kind of locked in when you buy it. You can't crack it open and put a bigger NVIDIA card in it or something. And then just also flexibility with what I can stream. So, there's not just different games, but if I don't want to stream a game, like the other day, I streamed a little editing session. I was working on a transition in Adobe After Effects, and was basically just sitting there, chatting with people.
Oh, right. That's cool.
Walking them through it. Yeah. So
it's because it could be more than gaming then. Like you said, if you're on Xbox or PlayStation, you're just kind of locked into the tech and the offerings that they provide.
Yeah. And, with like Xbox and I guess PlayStation is the same way. They have some kind of rudimentary kind of streaming technology built in, so you can stream directly from your console, but you don't get the alerts and all the interactive stuff on screen that you do with a PC that's got OBS running on it and all that.
Way to get into the weeds with the OBS. What do you prefer? Do you prefer Radeon or NVIDIA graphic cards? We're gonna get into the weeds. We might as well get it really into the weeds.
I'm kind of more of an NVIDIA guy. I actually had the first, not the first, but one of the big PCs that I had years ago had an AMD card in it. It was great. But since then, I've gotten lazy and I don't like building my own computers anymore. So the current machine I have has NVIDIA in it. And I recognize their model numbers and like their tiers, of cards better. I haven't read up enough on AMD to know like what their equivalent is to the NVIDIA. So, NVIDIA's got some nice little additional plugins and stuff for audio and video to help like with your camera. I don't use any of this stuff because I have other hardware that does that. But, for people who need like cleaner audio or something, they have plugins that work directly inside the card. So,
yeah, there you go, Barry. That's what you need. So let me guess.
Oh, okay.
You're an NVIDIA guy. The graphics card that you have. GTX 15 or 16?
Newer.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. What did you get?
Who do you think you're talking to, Joe? You think you're talking to some amateur?
I'm balling over here. I got an RTX 3070.
Oh, wow. Okay. If you guys don't know, that's a really good graphics card. If you're looking for like, we're talking like 4D quality. I'm sorry. Actually, no, not
4K.
4K quality. Sorry, thank you. 4K quality on especially what screen size do you have for your PC?
I just have 1080. I haven't made the plunge to a 4K monitor yet. I'm kind of more. I prefer the quality and frame rate over.
Oh, okay.
So I would rather have higher frame rate and like ultra quality settings in my games. 1080 is fine for me. I'm like, this looks beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, especially if you are on a screen that is 30 inches or less. I don't even know if it's even practical to go to a 4K.
I mean, it's like you're talking about pixel density that the human eye can't even really see.
Right, exactly.
So it makes sense if your screen is 32 or bigger. But otherwise, yeah. In fact, I mean, I think like the next time I buy a monitor, I'm probably going to just maybe do a 2K monitor, kind of go somewhere in between. And that's mainly so I can have more real estate for doing like video editing and that kind of stuff.
Oh, right. Yeah. Because then you could just have a couple other screens open. I just went to a 2-screen setup for myself. So I don't do a lot of PC gaming. I'm trying to get back into PC gaming, but I can have all of my I can have gameplay on one screen and then all my stats and everything on another screen. It's very, very helpful if you could set it up in certain RPGs where you can have your load screens on one and your actual gameplay on another. Great stuff. See, Barry, this is what happens when you get two gamers together talking about geek stuff.
Okay, well then let me ask you guys about The Last of Us, because that's a TV show that I like, and I've seen the video game, I know it's a zombie-esque shoot 'em up first person thing that's old.
Nope, not first person, third person perspective.
Oh, okay. And like, you know, I'm seeing online as these episodes come out, there's only 2 episodes that have been out, but everybody is saying what is true to the game and what is not true to the game. And it's kind of fascinating. I'd like to ask your perspective because you are a Twitch gamer. You do those things. Have you played that game and what do you think of the thing?
I've never played the game. Well, I shouldn't say that. I played the opening act of the game where you get through
me too.
To the main title or whatever. It plays very much like a movie. It's very well written and everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, I mean, this is just speaking generally. Seems to happen every time they convert a movie into or a video game into a movie. You know, they change stuff. They change things. They cannot stick to the canon, the original material. And sometimes it's necessary because some things don't translate from video game to film. But because this movie, to me, like I've seen the gameplay of it too. It just like I don't see why they couldn't have stuck to the material. I saw something that people were upset over the zombies. They're like made of mushrooms or something now or something.
Flickers. They're not made of mushrooms. It's okay, so
it's all a fungus, so he's right.
Well, it's not. No, because it's not a fungus. It's cordyceps. It's different. It's a fungus, but it's not mushrooms. It's a bacterial biological. Anyway,
I've taken cordyceps before. Like you're supposed to improve memory and help and stuff. I never noticed any difference, and it didn't turn me into a zombie, thankfully.
Well, I mean, what do you think overall about this? I think it's there's a new turn of events with gaming going to cinema, and I think we're kind of at the beginning of them going through because we're at the end of the whole Marvel comic book thing. You know, there's not very much more they can do in that world. And now I think they're starting to farm the video games of our youth. And I wonder what you think they're going to do next.
Well, I actually disagree on both points. I don't think that Marvel's or DC comics are anywhere close to being done.
No, yeah, I think they're just beginning.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I really do. I think we're going to have, well, here, people think that this latest phase of Marvel movies, you know, starting with the first Iron Man back in 2008, that was like the advent of the comic book movie. No, we've had comic book movies since the 60s. We've had video game movies since the 80s. Don't you remember Super Mario Brothers?
Yeah.
That was a fantastically bad movie.
Bob Hoskins, what were you thinking?
Oh, man. Yeah, he luckily most people have forgotten that Bob Hoskins was in it, and we just remember right. him for Roger Rabbit, which is fantastic. No, all of these things, I think that we're in a new phase of video game television and movies, but I don't think that this is something that's new. And I don't think that for comic books this is something that's ending. I think things are going to transition a little bit. I think DC, honestly, the last 15 years, they've been hammered by Marvel. Marvel got their outline for their first phase and their second phase. They just got it down pat. And they made it so interconnected that it helps, every movie helps reinforce every other movie. And I think that interconnectivity is what Marvel fans like. That's why these movies have been so successful. Where when we talk about the DC franchise, they screwed up. They let Zack Snyder make the Murderverse and nobody liked it. Comic book people did not like it because they, like we were talking about with Last of Us, Zack Snyder moved too far away from established comic book canon. And when you move too far away, you lose your fan base, your comic fan base. I don't think that The Last of Us has made such egregious changes to the video game that it's going to turn everybody off. I think that because we're working with less CGI in the actual show, if you look and you look at the costume design, the people playing like the clickers and the infected people that have the cordyceps coming out of their eyes and their head and stuff like that, that's actual costume design. That's not CGI.
It's all practical effects. Yeah.
Practical effects. And I think you're limited with those practical effects in some regards. So I don't know. What I read, and I haven't watched the show. I don't like horror stuff. I just want to remind people about that. I have seen snippets, though. Bella Ramsey looks like she's doing a fantastic job as Ellie. So that's one thing, that the acting is matching with the storytelling. So I think that's going to be helpful, because a lot of people who played Last of Us raved about the story. That's the thing that kept them going and playing the game, even when it became super horribly scary.
I'll be curious to see if practical effects, we see more and more of that, given the whole situation going on with Marvel and the working conditions of the special effects folks. Their working conditions are appalling, and they're on the verge of unionizing because things are so bad and stressful for a lot of those people. So we may see a lot more practical effects in the future.
Yeah, I think so. I think Disney and Marvel, they really need to, they need to take a hard look at what they're doing to their animators, because they're losing people.
Mm-hmm.
And they're having trouble now actually hiring CGI. So they're not getting the best talent out there, because now they got a bad reputation for just being a what is the word?
Turn and burn.
Yeah, they're turning and burning on employees, and it's too much. They're not paying all that great, and they're making people work like 12-hour days.
I was reading
other options.
I was reading an article that was talking about how most of these special effects companies have a cry room where animators go on their break and just bawl their eyes out, just like a release, and then they can go back to work.
No, that's not okay.
Right? Yeah.
That is not okay. No, you can't. No.
Hey, I want a cry room.
If you got to institute a cry room as a company, you're doing something wrong.
I'm sitting in my cry room right now. I'll probably have one later.
Oh, please don't.
All right. Well, I'm wrong on both accounts then. Okay. It's good to know. All right. Well, today's show is brought to you by
Wolf Tracks. Unleash the love. Do a good deed for dogs. Walking with the free Wolf Tracks app helps you earn for your favorite animal charity. Download the Wolf Tracks app, start walking your best friend, and unleash the love for all dogs.
Okay, so it's guest's choice on the Barry Funkhauser show, since it's Friday and we're just going through a little bit of the news that we didn't get enough time to go through this week. And Chase, since it is guest's choice, I'll give you a list of, let's say, 1 to 3 or 5 news stories, and you pick the one that you think we should cover next, okay?
All right.
Okay. The list is Tesla, Amazon, Microsoft, Lyft, or Rick and Morty. Go ahead.
Well, Alex, I'll take Rick and Morty, please, for 100.
Well, I don't know if you heard about this, but Rick and Morty will continue without Justin Roiland. Adult Swim and High on Life developer Squanch Games have parted ways with the Rick and Morty co-creator, who is facing 2 felony charges for domestic violence. Have you guys heard about this thing that's going down?
I did. I was actually just reading about this yesterday. That's why I chose that one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to work out for the cartoon, the series, Rick and Morty. Recasting, I don't think is going to work, but we'll see.
What voice does Justin do?
All of them?
Both of them. Yeah, he does Rick and Morty.
Both Rick and Morty?
Yeah, to my understanding, yeah.
Many side characters, most of the characters.
I don't know, man. I don't think.
But there are people online that he saw on TikTok. There's an interview out there floating around where Justin Roiland picks his best characters, people that can do them. And there's 3 or 4 guys out there that can do it perfectly. So I wouldn't toss it out real quick.
I don't know. I feel the same way about this as I do with bands that replace their lead singers.
Right. Yeah.
Just make a new band. Thing, yeah. Just make something new. It's not the same. No, Van Halen without David Lee Roth is not the same Van Halen.
Well, I mean, you got to apply the business angle of it. How much money will they lose with the merch involved with this?
Well, the merch would go on. The merch would go on for decades still. Like, I don't know. Like, that's my thing. At a certain point, companies need to say, hey, we had a good run. It's time to hang it up. And when you lose your main voice or a co-creator or, like on a television show, like take That 70s Show. When Topher Grace wanted to leave, they should have just ended the show. The last 2 seasons were terrible trying to replace his character.
Right.
And I just don't think it ever works. Barry, Chase, give me an example of a band, a television show, or a movie franchise that replaced their lead and was still very successful.
Back to the Future.
Who did they replace?
Well, come on, with Michael J. Fox. There was a guy before him.
No.
But that never made it like nobody.
I get it.
They shot with that guy for like 15 days. I scrapped everything and started over. Yeah,
I didn't understand the assignment.
I'm talking about like there is an established franchise and they are trying to replace their lead, whether that's the lead singer or the lead actor or the lead voice.
Well, the first one that comes to mind for me is 2.5 Men when they replaced
but that
Charlie
didn't work.
Sheen.
That was not successful. The ratings crashed after Charlie Sheen left.
Yeah. I think they squeezed 2 or 3 more seasons out of it.
2 seasons. They had 2 seasons. Miley Cyrus was on as Angus Cook's girlfriend. Oh, Angus Cook went crazy, by the way. No, but it doesn't work. I'm trying to think of when someone major was replaced and a show went on for like 5, 6, 7 more seasons. Only one. Three's with who? Suzanne Summers?
Yeah, I think so.
It was on for 2 seasons after that.
Oh.
The only one.
This is a hard assignment.
It's a hard assignment because I can't think of anything that would have worked.
Maybe these crime procedural shows can get away with it because didn't CSI after the Gil Grissom character after he left, wasn't that on for years?
It was. Okay, so that's a good example. Like the Gil Grissom's character left, the main characters left. They still had a bunch of the auxiliary characters, and then they just kind of plugged in different people. It was like Ted Danson and like what's his name, other.
The funny thing is the CSI, the original Las Vegas one, is back. They've rebooted it and they brought back Gil Grissom. So I guess in a way it didn't work. Like they had to bring him back, I guess.
It didn't. So and the reboot was pretty good. Like it was only 10 episodes so far that I've seen. So it was pretty good. But yeah, I can't think of another situation where it works. So I don't know if Rick and Morty they can change the voice, but I mean, this guy was everything.
It was his idea.
Yeah, and I think part of the problem too is from a legal standpoint. There's Adult Swim has a 70 episode order, 70 episode order, and they're only about halfway through that. So there's multiple more seasons of this show that need to be cranked out. So how does that work? How do we do they have to fulfill the contract or?
They said they're still working on season 7 as
and they're going to recast, so I guess they're going to try, but I don't see it working. I feel like they're going to do 1 season with this new voice cast, and then people are going to hate it, and that'll be it. I'm calling it.
Exactly. No, I completely agree. So, hey, listeners out there, if you have a good example for me, please let me know. I want to know if you can tell me of a replacement that worked well. The only one that I can really think of off the top of my head, and she was the lead actress, but not the lead. Cheers.
Oh yeah, what was her name?
Kirstie Alley, right?
Yeah, she just passed
replaced
on.
Shelley Long.
Yeah. And so I think each of them, I think Shelley Long was on for the first 4 or 5 seasons, and then Kirstie Alley was on for the last 4 or 5 seasons. So that's the only one that I can think of where a major player was replaced and it still worked. But there's a caveat because Ted Danson is actually the lead in Cheers.
Right. Yeah.
And so they replaced the lead actress, but not the actual lead. So if you have something out there, Van Halen doesn't count because Drive 55 Van Halen is not Van Halen. I'm a Panama guy, man.
Okay.
Panama.
All right. Yeah. Let us know by any means necessary. We will see it. And I'll let you know, Joe. All right. Now it's your turn, Joe, to pick a news story. Let's see if we can do a couple more before we get out of here. Here are your topics: Lyft, Microsoft, Amazon, or Tesla, or I'll throw in Honda there too.
Let's talk about Amazon because I am sad that Amazon Smile is going away. It's what I've used ever since I started using Amazon.
Yeah, that's the first of 2 Amazon stories. They say they claim its ability to have an impact was often spread too thin, but a lot of people online are saying that's a bunch of hooey, and they never intended for it to make donations anyway. It was all for
tax write-off.
No, for Google searches.
Oh,
really?
It had something to do with the stuff behind Google. Like,
search engine optimization.
That's it. That's why they built it.
Oh, geez.
So that it would bypass the charge that they would have to pay for Google searches. So if you were searching for a product on Google, Smile comes up before anything else because it's a donation or something.
Oh, that's interesting. Anyway, I liked it because I had selected Tree People up in Sherman Oaks as my charity, and over 10 years, I think all of my donations totaled about like $250 because not everything that you buy on Amazon is, provides a charitable donation on Smile. I liked it though, because I mean, if I'm going to buy stuff anyway, I mean, I might as well give like 0.005% to, my favorite charity, which is Tree People. Again, Tree People in Sherman Oaks. So I'm sad about that. Really, I am. I'm sad about it.
Yeah. Well, there's some good news coming out of Amazon, I think. They're launching a $5 monthly subscription for unlimited prescription medications. The RX Pass subscription is exclusive to Prime members and includes generic medications for over 80 common health conditions. So
that's cool.
Is that good news?
Oh yeah.
I think that's good news. How do you have any idea?
$5 a month. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Anything that makes healthcare affordable for us is good news.
Oh yeah,
we need all the help we can get in this country.
Yeah, exactly.
Mark Cuban is working on his prescription medication program also. So
I think his is on.
That's his moonshot, right? He's like spending a bunch of money to like try to make things better.
Yeah. The business model is they're essentially cutting out the middleman. So no pharmacy, no grocery store, none of that. You just buy directly. So you get the medications at near cost. They just mark them up just a little bit so they can make their profit. Their cover their costs and stuff. But yeah, you're getting them very cheap.
And Mark Cuban's he's a billionaire that I can get behind. I think.
Yeah,
I don't like a lot of billionaires, but Mark Cuban's like, I don't know, for 20 years.
Never a scandal, always having fun, with his money, never a scandal, Yes, I agree.
He was on CBS Sunday Morning a couple of weeks ago, and when they were talking to him, what I took from the interview was he is as dumbfounded and amazed that he's been as successful as he is, as everyone else. Like he's just as surprised that he was able to make the fortune that he's made.
Well, I mean, because a lot of it we have to just be realistic. It's luck. A lot of it comes down to luck.
Yes.
You're just you have to have some skill. But at the end of the day, people that are making all this money, it comes down to luck and timing.
Yes, exactly.
You hit the zeitgeist at the right time. You got a product that everybody wants right when they want it. And you have the smarts and ability to maneuver that.
Yeah, there's a snowball effect too, I think.
Yep.
You hit it at just the right time, and you have that luck, and then it just snowballs from there, and there's no turning back. But this whole notion that people do it because they're it's their drive and they were highly successful and made for business. No, that's not. I don't buy that. I think a lot of it is luck. People just are lucky, right time, right place.
And none of these billionaires, even Mark Cuban, they're not coming from nothing. Bootstrapping from zero to billions does not exist. It cannot happen.
Right.
All of these people who have made fortunes in tech had money from their parents or some kind of angel investor. And we're talking hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. I don't have anyone in my life that could just be hey, Joe, you have a really good idea. Here's $1 million to try it out.
Right.
If I had that, I would be a billionaire right now. I would. I absolutely would. I would be the answer to Joe Rogan. But no, I don't have that seed money, so it's you can't do it. So, but, as far as everything else, I think Mark Cuban's a pretty straight shooter. So,
yeah. All right. Well, speaking of straight shooters, I think that's it for the news today. Let's catch us up on Chase Shumway. What have you been doing online and otherwise? Are you still playing the same game?
No, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I finally finished that. So it's totally done. I actually haven't streamed hardly at all this month. I've been busy with other stuff, but hopefully I get back into it. Maybe even later today. I don't know.
Any of the other stuff?
Recommendation?
Oh, go.
What was that?
What? Oh, can I make a recommendation? Because I would love to come on and stream with you.
Sure.
If you want to play a specific game, I think it might be up your alley.
Sure. What do you got?
Sniper Elite 5.
Oh, is that a first-person shooter?
It is a third-person shooter.
Oh God.
I don't like first person either, man. We're right on the same wavelength. First person, just it really bugs me. But no, it's a third person and it takes place in World War II.
Oh, okay.
Check it out. Check out if you haven't heard about the Sniper Elite franchise, honestly, I think you might like it. It's a lot of stealth stuff.
Oh.
There's a lot of you're a sniper assassin in World War II. You play a U.S. guy who is outfitted with a UK team, and you go around and you are given missions. I think Sniper Elite 4 was in the desert, the Northern African campaign of World War II. The other ones were in different areas. One's in Germany, one's in Italy. It's pretty cool. I think you would really like it. And if you want to stream that, I would love to come on and stream with you because I really, really enjoy that franchise.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll check it out.
I'll watch if you guys work that out. I'm a voyeur there. I'll sit on my velvet chair in the corner and observe.
Well, I have a whole pile of games because I haven't been streaming much, so I have a whole pile of games that I want to get to. They're all little indie games and stuff, but I have one that's a detective game that I was going to play next. You're a cat. Ooh. It's anthropomorphic. It's like
the detective version of Puss in Boots.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's called 9 Noir Lives.
Right.
Yeah,
man, I heard about that game. Everybody's saying that's super good indie game.
Yeah, it's like I played the demo and it's got really good writing and it's funny and you can lick everything. You just walk around and lick stuff. And I was like, that sounds like fun. It's pretty chill. Coming off of a game where I'm like crushing skulls with axes and hammers. I thought, maybe a fun little detective game might be a nice little rest.
There you go. There you go.
I like it. Well, thanks for coming on, Chase Shumway. And
yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm sure we'll have you back again. This is the Barry Funkhauser Show.